So I was on my morning run, which is my run area. The area that I run to is the base of that mountain over there. Um, but I was running, and for those of you who don't know, I have like a real interest in survival skills and techniques. When I was in the military, the people who went to SEER school, which is Survival, Escape, Rescue, Evasion, were like badass. We were like, oh, like that's so cool to go to SEER school. Like I never went to SEER school. Like I never had the opportunity to do that, but I learned a lot of skills on my own and then have applied them, you know, in my time in the field, like whether it be, me going out to the woods to just like live on my own for like a day or so, or, and like this is like without a tent, without, it's just like me and my dogs and me building a shelter and the like. And so, I always really had like a genuine interest in it. Thought it was like really cool. Like what do you do when you don't have the tools that you normally carry? Like how do you survive, and not just survive, how do you thrive? How do you create what we might call a force multiplier, something that increases the output by which you can do work or exert force. And so, everybody has that kind of like well, I don't know if everybody has it, but like there's this kind of like meme in the US where it's like, oh, like people who are into survival is like, you're just gonna go around in the woods and bang rocks for like a few days or whatever. Which, like, to a degree is kind of what it is. So I ran to the base of this mountain and I was like, ooh, look at these rocks. These are the proper kinds of rocks to like bang around. And so I found a rock, like this had like another piece on it earlier that I like broke off here. And then I was like, oh, like I saw like there's this little, I don't know if you could see that. There was this little crack there. And I was like, oh, can I knock this off? Because I didn't want to chip it from here because this is the edge that I want. And I was like, oh, can I knock it off? And like there was a bigger rock nearby that I could do. And so I was able to pop it off. And I was like, oh my God. Like I basically just made a stone axe head. And to me, I know most of you might be like, that's like the dumbest fucking thing that I've ever. We have Facebook and smartphones. In fact, you're recording this with a tablet and you're out there making like stone axe heads. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm out here making stone axe heads. Look at that. That's, oh my God, I could do so much with that. And actually out here, because of, okay, look, I'm gonna show you guys this. Because of the area and the, which for being in a desert, there are actually like quite a few trees, but these are basically all like artificially manufactured. Like, and by what I mean by that is like they brought the trees here and they have like a spring and a water source that they constantly use to water those trees. Those trees would not survive out here otherwise. And so if you're looking at the condition of the place I live and stuff, like it's not the best. And just like for really basic things, like I mean like even getting, and like when I go back into the city, I'm gonna buy a bunch of stuff, which to me is really cheap. But for them out here, primarily because they don't leave the village. I don't know, like there are a lot of reasons as to why they don't have like the proper tools and stuff out here. A lot of it has to do with planning, elements of culture, all of these other things, which I won't really get into now because I want to keep this short. But having something like this is actually really useful because out here, like having an axe that has like a wooden handle and like a good steel head, it gets used until it's basically useless, and then they just try and I don't like work with that. And so having something like this gives, because I mean like these rocks are everywhere, so you can go quickly if you become proficient at it. You can quickly and easily very efficiently manufacture different like tools. So like this I had because I was thinking, I was like, oh, maybe I want to turn that into like an axe head or a tomahawk, but it's actually really heavy. Which like when it comes to these kinds of tools, you're gonna have to carry them around, you're gonna have to keep them with you. I think something like this I might be able to turn into like a tomahawk, but I need to this little thing right here, I need to, well, maybe I do, I don't know. I think I will. I need to break off that edge in order to make it flatter and easier to fit between like a piece of wood. And the piece of wood that I think I'm going to use with this one is actually right over here. I'm not sure what part of this I'm going to break off, because originally I was going to use it for firewood. I mean, the rest of it I still am, but I think I'm going to saw off a piece of it with my multi-tool and then use that to make the tomahawk axe. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I know I haven't made a video in a while. I'm still trying to go over like structure. Also, I've been, if you see that little thing in the distance, we've been building that and been building this like big ass gate they have on the back end. So I've been busy the last few days. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys, and be like, caveman tools out here in the middle of the desert, which is actually really useful. So yeah, because it makes it easier to process down like big trees and stuff like that as well. Because there are little, like if you look up there, that black stuff is actually like the trail that the water follows. So if you see those little black lines coming down, that's the trail that the water follows. So there are places up there where they have like little trees and stuff like that, and they can get big enough to where it is problematic to try and break it down with your hand. And so having an axe is actually somewhat useful in the desert, especially if you get hit up by a pack of wild dogs. Then you're going to be chopping bones. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Oh, I wonder if I can use a camel bone as a handle. But camel bone is really difficult to work with. Like it doesn't stretch and maneuver the way that wood does. So maybe I can't. But I just wanted to like point that out. Pretty soon I'm going to have a historical sites series. And I'm going to do that over the next few days. I'm just doing my research now to go over the site and kind of like explain to you guys what it is and what it's about and the like. So, hope you guys are doing well. Hope everything's going better for you than it was previously, and compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not who somebody else is today, which is just something that was on my mind. So yeah, you kids have fun. Don't do anything I would do.